brothers in learning land, Tyler from 10thumbspro.com, and today we're talking soloing on the ukulele. One of the problems that people have is when they're learning these shapes, they kind of get stuck in shapes and don't really know how to connect them. But once you learn how to connect the shapes when you're soloing, you'll be able to shred and use the entire fretboard for your solos. That's exactly what we're going to do today, talk about how to connect the shapes. Once you're able to connect these shapes, you're going to be able to improvise solos using the entire fretboard. Yeah, it's kind of a big deal, dude. Printable tabs by becoming a Patreon, links in the notes, backing track, all that good stuff. You will also see my email in the description if you want some one-on-one lessons, plus links to similar videos like this. All right, grab the ukulele brain attention span, follow me on in, and let's connect the dots. You know what the scales are, you know all 5 shapes, but when you go to solo, you kind of get stuck places or you can't really remember where you're at. You got to learn how to connect them because that's fretboard fluency. That means I can take a solo that starts here, shape 2, 3, 4, 5, back to 1. Whole fretboard. So we have to learn how to connect them, and there's a couple ways to do that. Okay, so one of the most basic and most practical ways to connect these shapes is with the slide. We have one idea here would look like this. Okay, open C string, middle finger, slide to the 4th. Then we're gonna do a triplet. Do 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 do. 5, 4, 3. Back to 4 on the C string, 2, O, 2nd fret of the G. And if you had a high E or high G, that'd be clearly an octave up. So the riff really slow. So this very basic idea connects shape 1 to 2 and then 2 to 1. And the exact moment is when I slide from 2 to 4 here. Now, you don't have to slide there. You could. And in fact, I encourage you to do that from time to time. I think sometimes people only slide when they're going from shape 1 to shape 2, 3 to 4, connecting shapes, better yet. They only use the slide. You can do, 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 do. Walk through it just fine. Now, having said that, the slide is a beautiful option. I want to pay attention though to kind of what fingers you choose when you're going from one shape to the next. If I were to use my index finger on that slide, the next piece of this riff is the 3rd fret of the E string. So if I do that, I have to jump backwards. And that's not the easiest way to do that. It's not the most economical movement. And we want to try to be as efficient as possible when playing the guitar. Trial and error is the best way to do this. I find that depending on what comes next will depend on what finger I choose to slide with. If I use my ring finger, for example, my index finger, for example, I might do something like this. So that's O2 to 4, and then I'm going to get my middle finger on the 5th fret of the E string, double stop, and back. The opposite would be true if I was sliding with my ring finger. I'm really putting myself in a position to get right back to the other shape. So as you're experimenting and learning to connect these shapes, it's a good idea to be cognitive. Of where you're going and what you're going to do next. Now, another reason I might slide with my middle finger would be some bends, but we're going to get to that a little later. Let's say I want to cover larger distances. Well, one way to do this one is kind of like what I call the tap and slide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide O, 2, 4, 3, 5, 3, 5. After I play 5 with my ring finger, I'm going to release it back to my index finger and slide. So I get O, 2, do, 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 do. And that's the tap and slide, right? Do, 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 do. So by doing this, I can just keep working my way up the fretboard. Shape 4. Shape 5. Back to 1. So you can do the do 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 bam, and just play with your ring finger, go back to your index and slide right back to where you're at. That's a great way to push yourself up the fretboard as well. Another cool, easy way to work your up through these shapes is by kind of looking at them across a linear line. Like if you think of that famous Jack Black, getting a lot of fretboard there, but it's only on one string. So I'm in shape 1 and I want to make it to shape 4. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of think about where I want to go in shape 4. I want to go here. I want my index finger on the 8th fret, and I want my ring finger on the 10th fret. Middle finger in charge of the 9. I really like this little 3-note box here. Do 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 do. Ba 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 da bow 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 bow. So for me to get there, I can start to think about this scale as being across one string in this 8-10 spot. I also, on the same string, do, 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 5th fret, 3rd fret, open. Okay, so I can think about just that as the pentatonic scale, and I can work my way up. It's really kind of worth taking the time to think about kind of where you start, where you want to go, and then looking at and making a map of how to get there. Just like we did here with this 8 and 10, we looked at the scale across the string, 5, 3, 0. So by the time I'm here, I know how to get here. So mapping them out across one string is also a really good idea. Okay, so we got some basic slides, keeping track of your finger position. We got the kind of that hammer on and replace. And then we have looking at the scales across one string. Another thing you can do is I call like call and response phrasing. And what I do here is I'll play a little lick in one box and then I'll make a massive leap to another one kind of based on the resolution. I'll give you an example. So another really cool way to kind of go from shape to shape is with an idea called call and response. And call and response has to do with one phrase blending to another phrase. So I'll give you an example. We're in the key of A minor. And this D note really, really likes to be resolved to the C. Meaning if you have a lick that finishes on D, and follow it with a lick that finishes on C, it sounds very nice. Something like this. Okay, so how can we apply that to moving across shapes and moving throughout the fretboard? Well, one way to do is kind of predetermine where you're going to finish. So I have a D here, and this would be the end of shape 2. I also have a C right here. And then this C is right at the start of shape 4. Now, you have that same C right here on the 12th fret if I wanted to go crazy, something like. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to aim here and here. So so let's learn the call first. It sounds like this. And it's going to be the 5th fret of the A, then roll it over and grab the 5th fret of the E, 3rd fret of the A, back to the 5th fret of the E, and then 3rd on the A to 5. So we get do, 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 do. Really nice intro phrase. But what we need to do is we need to respond now. And how we're going to respond is resolving on the C. So this was all taking place in shape 2. Do, 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 do. Now we're going to jump up to shape number 4. So after that call, what we're going to do now is the response. And we already found our C note. We're up here in shape number 4. And what we're going to do is something that sounds like this. Do, 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 do. 10, 9, 8, 10. Do, 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 do. Back to 8. Do, 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 do. And then we're just going to jump down to 9 on the C and then back to 8. The call and response together, and we get it's really nice. Do 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 do. So there you saw, we're just playing shape 2 and shape 4. We were able to skip shape 3 entirely because we focused very specifically on the call and response or the resolution of these notes. One more really cool way to connect these shapes is using double stops. The particular example, though, that I want to do right now for us is inspired by Stevie Ray Vaughan. Okay, so what we're going to do is middle finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, and we're going to give us a full measure of that, and it's sliding 3 to 5 against the open A. 1 bowler, 2 bowler, 3 bowler, 4 triplets, but feel free because this is more about the technique to use any timing you want. Then we're going to get up here, 7th fret, 8th fret, and again double stops. 1 bowler, 2 bowler, 3 bowler, 4. Just with those two, we've touched on shape 1, 2, 4, blown right through 3. Do 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 do. So there you have it, folks. Those are 4 techniques to connect the pentatonic shape so you can solo all over the fretboard. You have your slide. That could also be a hammer-on or just playing through it. But you need to know where your finger position is. We also have the call and response. That one's a little best pre-mapped out. We have knowing your scales horizontally. Double stops. And then like what I call the little finger replacement, hammer on and slide up. I guess that's 5. All right, and there you go. That is how you connect the scales, my friends. Rock and roll. Have a good time. We'll catch you next Wednesday or Saturday for ukulele. Take care. And there you have it, friend. That is how you connect the pentatonic shapes. So you can go from shape 3 to shape 1, from shape 5 to shape 4, from shape 1 down to 5, up to 2, then back to 1. It's how you connect all 5 shapes. Fretboard fluency. And now you can shred with the entire fretboard, and it really will unlock your playing, and you're going to have a lot of fun. Okay, so thank you for learning with us. 10thumbspro.com, Wednesday, Saturday for ukulele, Monday for guitar. One-on-one lessons is interested. And until next time, connect the shapes, daddy-o. Take care.